Buenos dias. Hola, and good morning. So I'm Scot Schultz, and I do work for Mellanox, but I'm also the Director of Educational Outreach for the HPC Advisory Council. And typically, Gilad would be here, and he regrets his absence, but you know, the show must go on. So just quick, we have 5 minutes to go, just do some housekeeping, and then we have a very tight agenda with a lot of very good material, a very good content. So we want to jump in it. But I do want to thank you, shout out a thank you to our sponsors. You know, it's very important to continue the research. And we have a lot of events that go around the world with the HPC Advisory Council. And first and foremost, we value the sponsorship and the opportunity to work with people who are not only leaders and pioneers in their fields of technology, but also have a very keen interest in contributing back to the HPC community. And this is basically how we select where we go, so that we have very high quality content and high quality participation and et cetera. So we have a very good agenda for you. I won't spend any amount of time on this because I believe it's all printed out for you. So real quick, also I think we're going to have a raffle at the end of the show, so make sure that you drop off your business card there in the back, or somehow get entered. We got a couple of really fantastic prizes. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you what they are. So part of the workshop goals, of course, is education, training, and of course the futures and the solutions, like I mentioned, right? You know, most of you are all key contributors to HPC, and you give back just as much as you take and use technologies that coexist today, and so that's the very essence and the spirit of the HPC Advisory Council, right, is working together as a community to develop new methods and new technologies and new capabilities, and taking a look at how we do things in the future, just as well as how things are actually working well for us today, and learning what didn't work in the past. So we do have a few breaks scheduled during the day here, and we can use those for offline discussions. So, you may ask yourself where Gilad is. You've all seen this slide. Gilad is actually working on the next version of this slide, so that's why he couldn't be here today. Now, this slide represents just an amazing amount of industry partnership that contribute content to the HPC Advisory Council. But like I said, most of you are very active in the council, and this is why we chose this site, and of course we'll be in China here in a couple months, and then we have a quick slide on where we're going. Now, just real quick, we have a number of resources at the HPC Advisory Council. So if you need access to these systems, it's free of charge. There's no cost. We try to get you scheduled and get you time for any kind of research, and if you need any assistance as well from any of the council members, including software licensing and that type of thing, we can work with you to continue with your research. So these resources are always available to you, and they're on the website as well. So through a lot of and I guess some of that is actually cut off on mine. We may want to pay attention to this as we move forward. But there's over 160 applications and best practices published. So the HPC Advisory Council actually runs applications, and we run them in a number of ways, right? So we test them across different CPUs, we test them across different MPIs, we take a look at scalability, take a look at different types of interconnects, different types of software elements to show the industry exactly, if you have a particular architecture, what is the best way to leverage the technology in order to get the best scalability from these types of applications. We host every year, of course, at ISC, right? We drive we drive the student cluster competition. So, as we continue, we very much value the participation from some of the leading and most recognized universities in the world. And and as far as participation goes, it's been very successful, in past years. And if you need, if you're part of a research organization or a university that participates in the student cluster competition and you have a team, please reach out and we can assist and help where we can as well. It's all about educational outreach and helping the students in the next generation of HPC enthusiasts. So where we're going, actually in China, that'll be in October. And then, of course, the cycle begins again in 2017, and we typically always kick off the year at Stanford because it's very close to my hometown. But as well, we have these events scheduled for next year. And, we hope that if you have research or an update to your research, please reach out to us. We'll try to get you scheduled on the agenda. And I think that's just about it.
So, okay, good morning and welcome to León. I'm not local, so maybe I shouldn't say that, but anyhow, welcome to. Okay, it's working. Okay, so I will give a short introduction, just presenting the situation of HPC in Spain. So I came from the Barcelona Supercomputing Center. BSC is the national supercomputing center. It's not loud enough? Okay. I'm small, so.
There's also a one like the helmet.
I think it's okay. It's going to be a short presentation now, maybe later for the large one. So BSC is the national supercomputing center in Spain, but we provide supercomputing services to Spain and also to Europe. But it's not only a service center; it also have research. There are our own research around HPC, and also we contribute with education, especially with PhD students that we supervise their research for the PhD. BSC is a consortium, a public consortium composed of the Spanish government, 60%, then the Catalan government, like 30%, and then the Polytechnic University, UPC, which contributes also with 10%. We have just have 10 years since it was founded, but we've been very successful attracting funding, external funding. You can see the distribution of the funding for BSC. It's like the 80% is from external funding, like 50% for personal grants, like PhD or other type of research grant, 65% of external funding, most of them from European projects, but also for contracts with companies. And then we have like the 20% of the funding that comes from the annual budget from the consortium. And our main icon machine is Mare Nostrum. It's one of the machines in praise as well. It's right now a 1 petaflop machine, and it's about to be renewed next year. So we'll have then the Mare Nostrum 4. It's not only used at Spain, it's used fully for research, okay, under public calls, and it's used 70% in praise projects and 24% in the Spanish RES projects, and then the rest is for our use, the BSc research. With regard to the different departments of BSc, the research departments, we have 4 of them. The computer science department, where I come from, where we do basically research in programming models, in performance analysis tools, and new advances in computer architecture, different activities always related to HPC. Okay, although it's computer science, but it's related to HPC. Then we have an earth science department. Their main focus there is in quality of air. They're very experts in quality of air. And also we have a life science department that they do different activities in genomics, proteomics, molecular dynamics. And then we have CASE. CASE can be like an applications department, very oriented to develop new applications for engineering, very focused on engineering. We had some of the presentations yesterday, for example, on combustion, for example, things like this. No? A bit more about the activities in the computer science department, where I come from. One of our main star projects is the programming models, no? And there we have our own family of programming models. Here I'm showing OMS programming model. OMS is like a forerunner for OpenMP, which is one of the main used programming models in HPC. No? And there, OMS, it's trying to promote new ideas in OpenMP. We have been promoting the use of tasks in OpenMP, for example, the use of dependencies between tasks. Here we show a task graph. That's what the runtime do. No? At execution time from a sequential application is able to generate a task graph where the application is represented in this way. So then from this graph, we can find the potential parallelism of the application, and if each of these tasks that can run in parallel are assigned to different cores in a node, for example. So this is the main idea of the programming model. Also, we do from this, we can offload these tasks to accelerators. We've worked with some years ago with a cell processor, which was a challenge, but now we work with GPUs, with FPGAs, with a Xeon Phi, so we do a lot of activities in acceleration as well. Then we have another project that is one of the stars in our center is the performance analysis tools set. We have then our tracing library, Extrae, and the browser and visualizer, Paraver, that are very well known and used in the community. These tools enable the application developers to do a very fine tuning of the applications and improve the performance of the applications by means of detecting bottlenecks, problems in the applications. Also, the team has been working on doing new analytics that can, because browsing a trace can be very difficult, no? Going into the details. So by generating these analytics from the very large traces, they generate a plot where you can see like the trends, if you change the number of processors, if you change the size of the cache over there, and you can see very fast how your application behaves. No? I will speak a bit more about this later in my talk. BSC is also one of the centers of the RES. The RES is the Spanish network of supercomputing. So this started like after we renewed the first Mare Nostrum. So we said, what are we going to do with this machine? Because it's only 2 years old, so we distributed between Spain, and we started the activities of the Spanish Supercomputing Center at that time with 6 centers. Right now it's composed with 14 supercomputing centers and 13 centers in Spain. And they cooperate all between them to distribute the different calls from the Spanish researchers to be executed in these different machines. Of course, as Mare Nostrum, as you can see here in the line, is like the proportion of performance from the different machines. Mare Nostrum is the largest one, but there are different machines with different capacities. There are machines that are like shared memory machines, other are clusters that have different characteristics, and then we can map different requests from different researchers into the different machines. Okay, I think it's a very nice. We had yesterday our workshop about our annual users conference. Was very successful with presentations from both at the morning, in the morning more on politics and logistics of the RES, but also we had a breakout in the afternoon with topics on the different activities of the RES, from more life science, engineering, whatever, and with talks about the people that have been using these resources during these years. Also, another activity that we do a lot is not only the HPC and research, but also all the other things that help on promoting HPC in the community, no? From education, as I say, like the training and collaborating with the masters and PhD. For this, we have our liaison with UPC mainly, but also with other universities in Spain and around the world. Then we do also another type of activity is training with praise. We are one of the HPC centers. This means that during all the year we have a program of seminars that can be 1 day, 2, 3 days on different aspects related to HPC. And these trainings are free of cost, so only the people have to come, only pay their travel, but the training is free of cost. And we are also one of the Severo Ochoa awarded centers in Spain. This is an important thing. So it is a recognition of excellence by the Spanish ministry that we are given to our center to promote our research. No? So it's very good for us. No? So with this, I would like to close my welcome. And so now, yes, we will move to next speaker. Thank you.